Holy shit. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Poor Richard's Garage. And this is definitely a video that I thought I would never have to make, hoped I would never have to make. As you can see, we've had a catastrophic failure of the old Linky 92 here. I was driving the truck late night, early morning in the rain, in the dark, and headlights aren't that great, wipers aren't that great. Completely ran into a curb and utterly destroyed the front driver's side of the truck. Luckily it's all fixable. Mostly I just caught the lip of the wheel on the curb. We're going to try and pull this thing apart today and see what the damage is and see what we can do to get her fixed, because AVF is coming up in a couple of weeks and I've got to get this thing fixed and ready to get on the road so we can be there. Let's dig into this thing. So with the wheel off of here, looked everything over and nothing is too concerning. The lower control arm looks okay, the tie rod looks okay. I threw a straight edge on it. Nothing seems to be too much out of sort, but when the truck's on the ground and when I had these other wheels on here that got me home, I can look at it and tell that the camber's off and also the toe. So I'm thinking that the knuckle here has been tweaked whenever the truck hit the curb. So I'm gonna have to pull everything apart. I had to change this axle anyways. The boot's busted, so I wanted to get that done before AVF, so I needed to pull it apart anyways. So pull it out. I'll get me another knuckle ready to throw back in here and try and get to an alignment shop before we head out for Helen in a couple of weeks. So start tearing this thing down. Thank you. All right, well, I am not a scientist by any means, nor am I a professional automotive technician, whatever you want to call it, but I have been working a little bit off camera to try to figure out if my spindle that came off the truck is bent or not. So I've got this very scientific method here of some cardboard. So this This is a spare spindle that I had that came off of the GTI that should be good and not bent. So I lined the cardboard up here and I threw a little paint on it around where the knuckle attaches to the strut, right? So you can't see any white when it lines up. Okay, swap that out on this flat surface with the spindle that came off the truck. Same piece of cardboard. There's a decent gap down here, and it's kind of hard to see on camera, but from this angle you can tell knuckle is covering up the black paint a decent amount on the cardboard. So it does look like it is bent. Not a ton, but I suspect it probably would be enough to throw the camber off, which would explain why. You could visibly look at it and tell that the camber wasn't right. And I've already got this spare knuckle spindle over here. I'm just going to throw a fresh bearing in it and then put it back together, get it to the alignment shop. Everything else looks fine. I'm going to assume that maybe this being bent and throwing the camber off is what messed with the toe, because the toe was also visibly out, or the spindle also bent where the tie rod attaches, possibly. I tried to do that on this side here, but I mean, it looks okay, but that's reference to the flat plane of this table. So I know it's bent in one direction at least, and I've got a spare, so I will have to clean it up with a die grinder, since I'm using cabriolet axles and the outer axle is too big to fit into the spindle here, so I'll have to clean the other one up. Yeah, put a fresh bearing in it, throw it all back together, get to the alignment shop. I've got some fresh wheels here already, two fresh tires. I needed to change the tires anyways. Axle will be here in a couple of days, but we're gonna keep cracking, see how she goes. Hopefully I can get it back together before AVF.
Last time you drained that air compressor?
Drain the water out of it?
Yeah.
Never. Got water coming out? Well, I made it to the alignment shop to discover that the caster is off on the driver's side, so something's still bent, apparently. Either the lower control arm or the strut itself is bent to where the caster is it's off. There's no caster adjustment on these cars, so I got them to set the tow good enough to get me to AVF next week, and I'll plan to try to figure out how in the world I can fix this. I know I wanted to go air ride on the truck for a while, so maybe this is my sign that it's finally time to bite the bullet and see if I can't put some airbags on this thing. But she's patched up enough to get me to Helen and back, so we're gonna go and have a good time. Caster's a little off, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. She's safe to drive, so should be fine. But anyways, I'll see you guys in Helen. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.